I'm out in my garage playing, and I hope I can keep this all in the camera. I'm going to take you on a little adventure with me from start to finish. This is some dog hair from Australian Shepherds that arrived in 3 Ziploc bags. There isn't very much of either of any of them, and they want something to knit. So at first I was going to spin this my favorite way, which is just to take handfuls of picked dog hair and spin it in a very loose, lumpy, bumpy, bulky yarn. But that really wouldn't give them enough for a project, I don't think. So instead I decided I would play with it, I'll card it, and spin it fairly fine. This is from Jaki, or Jaki, J-A-K-I. I don't know if this needs to be picked or what, so I'm going to open it out. It's very clean, very soft, and I'm not going to have to pick this. You can see I'll just kind of finger pick it as I start to card it. I imagine the others are about the same. And I say, if I was going to just do handfuls of this and spin it, which is one way to do it, I would fluff it up, and you can see it's going to get all over. I would open it up and fluff it. I'm going to use a very low ratio on my carder. And feed it in. Now with dog hair, same with Angora and some of the really flyaway fuzzy fibers, I won't get 2 ounce back on here. Probably 1 ounce. And I have no idea how much this weighs, and I don't have a scale. But again, I'm going to put it through very slowly so that it's well carded. And see, I've turned this way down. And I'm going to need to use the burnishing brush a lot because this is so flyaway. And it's not going to be very exciting watching me card this. Hold it back so you can see it. So I'm going to turn the camera off and come back when I'm finished with this bat. One thing with the very fine fiber stuff, you can see it makes a huge mess. It's spitting a lot of stuff out. When you're carding dog hair or anything that really flies away, you've got to watch because it gets in your carder and it can wrap around the gears, everything. So you need to stop. I'm about half finished, but I've got to stop and make sure I clean all of this out. If it gets clogged up in there, you can burn out your motor if it's an electric, and you'll just not do yourself any good if it's a hand crank. So I'm going to stop, clean out the carder, and then go on. You can see it's probably about half full. Welcome to my experiment. I've pulled off whole bats of dog hair before, but I've never pulled off a roving. So I have my trusty milk bottle Diz, and I'm going to give it a try, and you'll be the first to know if it doesn't work. Always before I've torn off the bat and then just torn it into strips. And I don't think this fiber is so short. I don't think it's going to work. And which you can see, there's just nothing here to be able to pull it through. The fiber is so short. So I'll take the whole bat off, and then I'll pull it into strips, and this I'll recard. This is about half of the fiber. And even getting this bat off is going to be a trick. I'll use my doffer and just pull it a little bit at a time. And again, it may break apart, but that's alright because when I spin it, it doesn't really matter. Dog hair is one of my favorite fibers to spin. It's so much fun. It's a big mess. It is more difficult because the fibers are so short, but the results are so wonderful. Plan C. Plan A was pulling off a roving, which didn't work. Plan B, I pulled off the bat, and it's so soft that it's still falling apart when I tried to roll it up. So here's part of it, and I can pull. What I'll do is just take handfuls of this and spin it. It's all well carded. Here's a little bit of the bat that hasn't fallen apart yet, and you can see when I roll it up, it's just a cloud of soft, wonderful fuzz. So I'll just probably pull off handfuls and spin it. It's prepared, it's just not the form that I thought it would be. It's time to spin the dog hair. This is my wheel. It's a 30-inch double treadle Jensen, which was handmade by Jerry Jensen. This one is in walnut. Get ready to spin the dog hair. I put on one of my smaller whirls because this short fiber needs more twist. I also loosened the tension because I don't want the yarn being sucked in and pulled away from me too fast. But I took the carded bat, which came off in one bat but then wouldn't roll up. But you can see it's beautifully open and nice, so I'm taking a handful at a time, and it gets all over. You can see it's on the wheel, on me, on the floor. This is not something for neatniks. I'm going to, whoop, got away from me. That happens a lot when you're spinning something this fine. Fine being the fiber. You can see, I mean, the fibers are really short. I'm going to use what I call my arthritic long draw. It's a takeoff on the long draw, supported long draw. I'm controlling with my left hand and drafting back with my right hand. And this may pull away from me a couple times because I'm trying to keep it as absolutely soft as I can and have enough twist to hold it together. So sometimes I walk a fine line and I get it a little bit too soft and it goes poof. I'm barely holding it with my right hand. You can see I'm just drafting back, and you probably can't see it, but I can draft all the way back as far as I can reach and then let it feed on. I'm not worried about spinning this perfectly even. I like the dog hair to be kind of lumpy and clumpy, but I didn't have enough fiber to do that with this time. And I'm really trying to keep it soft more than I am even. When you get little bubbles, you can spin them out. This is almost like spinning cotton because of the length of the fiber. So it does require a lot more twist to hold together than you might think. You can draft forward if you want. I think you can see the twist kind of going into it here. Again, I'm barely holding. I'm just kind of supporting the fiber in my left hand. Or I could do a worsted style and draft back. But that, to me, gets a little more twist than I want. And a little very thin place right there, so I'll back up and add a little more fiber. It really goes pretty fast. It is a little more difficult because of the fiber length, but again, I don't know that dog hair is that hard or terrible to spin, other than the flyaway factor. It's a protein fiber, so if you want, you can dye it. This is going to remain a natural color.